Bridget Mackay. I'm an attorney and I work with aging parents and in the area of elder law. And I'm in the process of doing a video blog series, if you're watching this, on elder care and issues with aging. And if you're of a younger generation and have an aging parent, we're going to address some of those issues too. And I'm doing it in the form of cautionary tales because I see a lot of cases come through my office where I really learn from, and I want to impart some of the advice from people I've seen so that this wisdom may help you in the future with your life as you age, if you're an aging person watching this, or if you're a child of an aging parent, for you as well. This next story is really focused on the children of an aging parent. And this story is about a client of mine, I'll call her Flo, who was very capable and very, very graceful, beautiful woman, always dressed perfectly. And she came into my office and got her affairs in order. And I struck up a friendship with her. And so I've known her over time. She's come in and visited me, and we've stayed in touch. And over time, she, at first very independent, lived on her own and did everything on her own, you know, normally. She managed her life, she drove, all of those things you needed to do, and she sort of slowly started to lose some of those abilities. She could still drive, but she was kind of repeating herself to her children. She had a fall and didn't quite recover as well from that. But she's really, really good at putting on a good front. And some of you may have a parent like this or know this story. And what she would do was, you know, she would completely divert any issues when you were trying to talk to her about capacity and maybe she needs some help and let's look at this, let's look at that. And her children were at a turning point. They were at a point of, do we step in and get more aggressive and try and get her past her denials and her good front and find out what's going on? Or do we just kind of let her do what she needs to do if she's being really assertive about keeping her independence, which is good, and wait till something else, the next crisis happens? I see this a lot, and most times adult children take the path of doing nothing. And I want to tell you something. When you go down that path, you may wait for the next crisis, but it can be really bad and really extreme. And I want to tell you today that there's another way you can address you can address Flo's issues. What happened with Flo is her kids backed off, like I said, and they didn't want to offend her by stepping in or being aggressive with getting her care taken care of. And she continued to try and convince them that she was capable of taking care of herself. And, you know, she did this by hiding issues. She answered, you know, questions with what they wanted to hear. And eventually a contractor knocked on her door. She was very vulnerable to undue influence. Convinces her she needed new siding on a house she was renting, and gave her a $35,000 bid to get the work done. She agreed. The contractor begins the work. Her children come by for a visit and wonder what is going on. Is your landlord doing something for you? And she goes, oh no, I'm paying for it. We needed siding. And you know, they're in a battle with the contractor and the landlord and trying to sort everything out. I mean, eventually the whole $35,000 wasn't paid, but here we go with, you know, a bunch of issues. So the moral of the story for Flo is that there are resources you can have. It's not up to you as a child to step in. You can get a geriatric care manager. There are so many more now available who are good, who know ways in which to talk to your elder that don't offend them, like maybe coming from a child it would. They can evaluate them. They can give you suggestions to keep them independent as long as possible. They can provide tools in which you can have conversations with your elder about addressing some of the deterioration in capacity and keeping them independent. and it only is for the better of your parent for you to get more aggressive. So the moral of the story is, if you see the unwinding of capacity of your elder, step in sooner. Don't be afraid to be aggressive, and it doesn't have to be you. There are professionals out there that will help you with this. So go talk to your local attorney who does elder law, or go online and you will find thousands of resources for this. And Flo will stay independent for longer.